Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a review of all the markers that I have and supplies that I use, so markers, pens, some acrylics, and what I use them for, how I use them, and the difference between them. So grab yourself a coffee, get comfortable, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I always try to answer the questions anyone has about these supplies because actually I don't think you can go wrong with any of these, but I am going to show you the ones that I use. Let's get started. Okay, I tried to get everything in view with regards to the markers and supplies that I'm going to be using and that I use regularly when I'm drawing and sketching. I started off in my marker journey. I actually started off with Copic markers, but that was about 10, 12 years ago. Actually, yeah, it was probably about 13 years ago. And then I just, for whatever reason, I stopped using the Copic markers. And yes, I gave them, like I got rid of them. But I often wonder, would they have held up 10 years? I have no idea. But anyway, when I started back into the marker phase, because I went on to acrylic painting and I was really obsessed with that for many, many years. I still am obsessed with acrylic painting. I love it. But now I'm in a drawing phase. I think you can never do too much drawing. So when I popped back into the drawing and coloring part of it, I purchased the most affordable option for me, which was the Artist Loft, alcohol markers. So most of the alcohol markers have two sides. They have the brush tip and they have the broad tip. So I invested in those and I love these. I think these are great. These are great price point. They're a great starting point, and I love having them. I had never actually heard of Artex before. Surprisingly, I had never heard of them, and I had never heard of Ohuhu. The other markers that I had used when I started out as well are these Tombow art markers. These are water-based. I don't use them as much right now, but I know I'm going to be using them later. And I don't use them as much right now because they are water-based and I'm focused on the alcohol markers. So I love all three brands for different reasons. I find that the Ohuhu markers, they have a lot of ink in them. The ink flows really well. They're really bright. They're really, they lay onto the paper really well. And I like all the different colors that come with it. I mean, these are Honolulu markers, Honolulu Ohuhu markers. And when I'm coloring large drawings that I've done, I love these for how the ink comes out. I would say these are a little more delicate in the way that the ink comes out a little bit differently. I wonder if I can do a little comparison here. So the Artist Loft, let me switch the paper. Okay. So we've got the Artist Loft here, and I'm just gonna, it's a little more, in my opinion, like a delicate marker, if you will. I mean, I like the way that ink goes on, but if I'm really coloring like a really big drawing that I did, like this is just the coverage. It just goes on and on. The ink just comes out, like it just goes on and on. You have to try them both to see. And then I don't know if I had that color in the Artex. These are skin tone markers. I love these. And I personally love I love the box packaging. Like I know it's like the packaging is just beautiful. All of Artex's packaging is beautiful. And these are all skin tone, and I love having a box of skin tone markers just because I can just, like, I don't have to dig around to find it. With Artist Loft markers, where I'm located, you can buy them one at a time, and there's something good about being able to go in and find the perfect color that you want, especially when it comes to skin tones. You can really go to the store. I go to Michael's, and I can sort of test them out and see which ones work with regards to skin tones. When I'm shading faces, I want a delicate I want the marker to go on delicately so I can layer and layer and layer on top of it and shade on top of it. There's just something away with regards to these two that I like for faces, and there's something with regards to Ohuhu, which I like for just covering, like if I'm drawing a dress, boom, just color. It's really fast and the ink flows really, really well. What I'm trying to say is that these have a little more of a transparency and these are a little more opaque. And that's why I like using these ones for faces, because the transparency for me is important, so I could layer and layer and layer on top. These are slightly less transparent and have a very bold, bright color. And I love those for any types of, you know, coloring dresses, trees, any types of details, if that makes sense. So when it comes to these three markers, the Artist Loft, you can buy singularly. You can go to the store and buy these one marker at a time. With these ones, they come in boxes or packages, if you know, of a bunch of colors. So you're not really buying them one at a time. I'm going to purchase the different brands based on the needs of my art and my drawing. I really think if you're struggling and you're trying to pick, oh, which one should I buy? Like, oh my gosh, you can't go wrong with any of them. And if you're just starting out, I probably would get like a whole box or a whole package of markers before I'd buy one at a time. But if you're on a real budget, it's nice to be able to go into the store and just buy like 3 or 4 and try them out. And so that's where I'm at with these markers. I love them all. I use them all, and I'm super happy to have them all. And yeah. The next thing that I have in my supplies for drawing is white acrylic markers and white gel pens. These are great for adding details and highlights when you're drawing. If you are drawing a face and you're drawing eyes, I like to use the whites to either draw like highlights in the eyes or on the nose or cheeks. You can't go wrong. I definitely recommend anyone who's drawing to have a white acrylic marker. I have Artex, but any brand will do, and a white gel pen. I have the Uniball Signo gel pen. I like Uniball pens, and those are my preferences. I think one of the reasons I use Sharpie markers to draw, it's a great way to draw and practice with a Sharpie marker, and you cannot erase your drawing. You really have to stick with what you're doing. So this is a great practice to draw with a Sharpie. I'm drawing lately with the gel pen simply because I like the scratchy marks and really practicing my loose style and trying to get details. It's hard to get details with the Sharpie when you're drawing with a thick marker. And that's why I will do, depending on what I'm trying to practice, I will use either one of these. And finally, gold. I have gold gel pens. I have a variety of gold gel pens. I have gold Artex acrylic markers. And I have golden gold paint. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I almost always add gold at the end of my artwork for the details, jewelry, anything really. You cannot go wrong with the gold. And I did have one other thing. Whenever I'm painting, I just bought a new one. I have this Folk Art Glitterific. I like that name. It is Glitterific. It is glitter acrylic paint. And it's clear paint, but it has all this, I think you could see it here, all this amazing glitter inside of it. And if it's the holiday season, I'm adding glitter to everything. So I'll be adding this to everything. And I add it to my acrylic paintings, drawings. It's almost like I know it says acrylic paint, but it's almost like a glue with glitter in it. And I think this is a great touch at the end of any painting. I actually even got, I haven't used this one yet, I even got this sparkly greenish blue because I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of Christmas trees and I'm really excited to try this. So this is like, the price point of these, you can't go wrong. I try to limit myself and not buy too much. Those are, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I mentioned my acrylic markers too much. I have a bunch of Artex acrylic markers that I use. These ones kind of, I'm into these right now. These go on really well. And I like to be able to just have my markers out. I like to be able to have my markers out in front of me like this when I'm drawing, and I can just grab whatever one I want. I kind of like the way this is laid out. I'm going to try to find some new, I'm going to be thrifting soon and trying to find a new way to display my markers so they're easy to grab when I'm painting, or drawing, I mean. I hope this video helps you if you're trying to figure out which art supplies to buy. And I really do want to say, I don't think that you can go wrong with any of these brands that I mentioned. I think you'll be happy with absolutely any brand you choose.